and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to be working on the Christmas light bulb. And I saw these at Walmart and I thought, man, there'd be a lot of things we could do with those. So I'm going to show you a couple of things and turn them into real expensive looking ornaments. And I would believe they were about 89 cents. And the one thing I do want to stress is these are plastic. Don't try heating them up or melting them with the wax or anything. You want to be really, really careful because you will melt the plastic. I know. So we're going to talk about different things here. The first thing I want to do is I want to base coat the gray part of the top of the light bulb. When you're working with glitter, you always want to base coat the color that you're going to make the glitter underneath it. Otherwise, it just looks spotty and you can't get an even coat and it doesn't look real good. So it's really important that take a color similar to the glitter you're going to use and base coat that in. And then you get a nice layer or coat of the glitter. And I'm also going to come up here. I don't need to do all of the top, but just that part right there. And we're going to start to let that dry. Now I'm going to I'm going to do the paint inside on the green one first, and then we'll talk about the glitter one on the outside. And it's basically done just the way that we're going to do the top lid as well. But this one, you don't have it out, it's on the inside, it's more protected, it's just a little bit more durable. And all we're simply going to do is take a color, and I'm going to use blue this time, and we're going to put it into our bulb. And I took just a tad of water, if your paint is thicker too, just enough to kind of get it to work around, because there's a lot of paint in there, but isn't that a rich color already? I'm going to do just not that much, just a tad here. Just like a drop or two of it. I think I have just a little bit too much. It's hard to get a little, but not too much. I think there's more in there than it looks, or less in there than it looks like. I got my blue on my other part, so you'd probably want to let that dry instead of rushing it like I am. Wiggle that around. Shake that up a little bit. Fun of crafts is making a mess. And I am going to use just a little bit more blue because we've got spots if we need to still just get a little bit more covered up. And we're just going to wiggle those around until we get them. Almost there. You do not want too much paint in there. You can get too much paint in there. If that happens, you may just want to pour it out so it doesn't build up in there and fall off on the inside if it gets heavy. Got one little spot left. I'll put just a little bit more in. But see, isn't that pretty already from what we had of that plastic color? Okay, come on baby, we need one more here. And I'm not going to worry about I have just a tad, but not bad at all. Okay. This must be a good project. We're getting nice and messy here. Now another thing I like to do with mine is I like to add some glitter to it. And you can add the glitter in the very beginning so it runs around with the paint. And it'll probably spread out a little bit easier than the way I'm doing it now. You can see I do have it in the green one, and that'll show up a little bit more when it dries as well. Now, our gray is probably pretty dry, but I'm going to cheat just a little bit here. I don't recommend doing this. It'll bubble your paint, and we are working with plastic, so you don't want to really put it on the glue gun. Now I do want to show you, I don't see if you can see the spot where I added the glitter, how that glitter's coming through. We'll zoom in and give you a coat or a close up there, and I might do just a little bit more because I really like that glitter look. Just a little bit more. Like I said, if you do it in the beginning when you're moving the paint around, that's good too. Okay, so I got that all glittered. Now, I like to use just my Elmer's glue on my lid instead of tacky glue when I'm working with the glitter. The tacky glue is just a little bit thicker and it doesn't spread as nice and thin and even for me as a tacky glue. So I do use just the Elmer's glue. I'm going to wet my brush down just to make it damp so the glue doesn't have to absorb into my brush. I'm not making it wet, I'm just getting it spread around. Now I want to make sure I get it up on the top as well. Alright, now we're going to come over and we're going to glitter it here. I'm going to use a piece of paper. I have a fancy scrapbook one where you put your glitter in it and it's a little pan. And I don't like it as well as I do my paper because it comes off the paper easier than it does a piece of plastic. So when I'm working with my paper, I just fold it. And then when I'm done with it, I just throw it away and any extra just goes right there. And I'm going to use, this is almost a purple silver. But I really like the color. I'm just going to coat it here. Now, if you wanted to do the whole bulb a different color, you can do one layer at a time. Like now, then you could work on the bulb and you could put a blue paint over the top of it and then put the glitter onto this. It's real important to always use a color similar to your glitter first, because if you don't, it's going to look really blotchy and it's not going to look good. So that's how you do add the glitter to your Christmas ornaments. You can do that with snowflakes too. You can paint one side and then put the glitter on the other side. If it's see-through or plastic, I'm going to try and get this open back in here. Take our paper and pour that right back in. See, that's nice and clean. So you don't have to worry about that. It's glitter time around my house. Everything's glitter, including me. Okay, now on this guy, we've got him done there. I'm just going to put a reflective light on him. I just want a little bit of a dot, a sparkle, I guess, a Christmas spirit. I always call it Christmas spirit. It gives it that sparkle. Everything at Christmas has a sparkle on it. And we're going to do this on the outside. So I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to decide where I want that sparkle to go. And we're just going to put it right there. And I'm going to use my glitter. Now this one's got some fine plus some bigger pieces of white in it. And we're just going to add that on here. When I did the whole thing glitter on the bulb, I did this first and then I painted around it. Push that in just a tad. So there. Let that all dry and then you can brush that away. We have our Christmas spirit. And we can, I don't have much glitter there, so I'm not even going to worry about that one. Now, if this was all glitter, I would go ahead and varnish the whole thing, because varnish keeps your glitter in place. If you have glitter ornaments or you have a decoration with glitter, spray varnish it with a gloss spray, and it really helps it wear and keep the glitter from getting all over you. That's kind of a trick here. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how I decorated the rest of this bulb. And I'm going to use one that's already dry. We'll use our red one here. Now see, this one, usually when you do Christmas glitter, it's all over you, and that's not too bad. So we've already got him varnished and everything. Now, I don't know if I would varnish the plastic or not on that. I may just kind of hold it and varnish the top part of it instead. We're going to put our bow on, and we want to do 3 little loops. So we're going to do 3 little loops here. And figure out how big we want them. And 1, 3 on each side. 2. And I save a lot of my pretty ties that stuff comes in that's tied down with, especially doing Christmas, the little twisties that are gold and silver, because they're perfect for this to tie with. So always just make you a little jar full of them, so when you're doing little projects like that, you've already got your little ties ready to go, and you don't have to get wire. They're usually a nice bendable. This is almost a little bit too coarse right here. They're usually just the right size of twisty. If it was a bigger bow, I'd be using my pipe cleaners, but this is a smaller one. I want to get that nice and tight there. Now we're going to run this through our little hanger here, but we want to put a bigger hanger on it. And I put a silver ribbon on the other one, but I didn't like how it kind of took away. I think a plain simple cording would actually be nicer. This one, I think I'm going to just knot it and then run it through. Now we're doing it now because when we do it in a little bit here, you're actually going to not have any more room. You'll see why. Okay, and that way we can cover this up and it won't show. Now I'm going to take my ribbon, we're going to kind of squish it all in, because we're going to go through this. So that's why we didn't want to do any more than 3, because that's all got to fit through this little guy here. Otherwise he kind of will go lopsided, and you could just put him on the top and have them all stick out. But we're going to get him going. And make sure you have all 3 going at the same time, because if you lose one behind, you probably won't be able to get him back through that. So we're going to pull him all the way here. Squish this guy down, keep him coming. Don't have any nails right now, and it's hard on my nails. Getting it really hard in this Christmas season. Get rid of that wire. Okay, we're almost there. All right, we made it. Woohoo! Okay. Now, and if you need to get the creases out, you can take your spray bottle and hit that just a tad right there on your ribbon. And you can see my ribbon is probably 1 inch thick. You don't want the really thick ribbon, or it is not going to fit through. And we already have that. And let's decorate it with some little red poinsettias. I'm going to use 2 on the front and 1 on the back. And I'm going to get my glue gun here. Got my glue gun on low temp setting. People ask me how not to burn themselves, and there's so many times that I have burned myself when I didn't need to. There's so many times you can use the low temp setting. Unless you need that glue to stay for a long time, the low temp is so much easier on you and the things you're working on, because it's not going to melt as much either. And we're going to put this guy on the back. I found these at the in aisles at Walmart. There was quite a few of them. So, and they probably have them at the craft store too. Alright, we're going to put some greenery in with it as well. Just because it needs that green to break up that red. Overlap them and glue them together. That goes a little bit. I always save my leaves even when if I've used my flowers, because I find myself using the leaves just as much as the flowers. So I never even throw, I find myself even using the plastic part quite a bit for some of the craft things I do too. I believe in using everything, I guess. So we're going to put him, excuse me as I turn him around so I can see him. I put my hand right in that glue and I'm not going to have a blister. So we've got that there, and we're going to put one more on the other side as well. And I'm going to put one in the back and we will be done. And if you sat down and did a bunch of these, you could just really pop them out if you did them in a row. It'd be really cute. But the bulbs, the Christmas bulbs, glitter ones, used to be real expensive when they first came out. So I bought my poinsettias rather inexpensive. They were on sale at Michael's when they had their really good sales. Probably paid 99 cents for the bunch. Okay, there we have our little Christmas bulb, light bulb. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at art@miriamjoy.com. For more fun things we're doing this holiday season, check out our Facebook page at Miriam Joy Gourd Creations. We're always putting the videos up as they're coming there, and just doing fun things all season long. Merry Christmas and God bless.